Hi everyone, it's Lori. Look, a lot has been going on in my life. A whole lot. I can't even explain. That's why I haven't been on for a while. I like to make videos a lot more often than this, but please bear with me. Um, what I wanted to talk today about is spirit contact. And now I've heard from a lot of different people, and I've experienced myself with this shift that's going on. I'll call it the shift. I know some people call it the awakening. Some people are definitely waking up, but I don't know if I want to call it the Great Awakening, as some people are calling it, or the Christ consciousness. And the reason I say that is because there's also a great deception. So I wonder if this is the great deception and the great awakening kind of simultaneously happening. Are we ascending spiritually, but yet some are left behind, some are choosing to cross over suddenly? Another thing that people are talking about is a lot of people that are experiencing the shift really heavy have had near death experiences or sudden experiences where maybe something did shift, where maybe they were supposed to die. Some people think we actually died. My problem with that is I believe when I die that I'm not going to just go to a dimension like this. Because I'll tell you, if I am in another reality, and I'm not saying that I am, but if I am, I jump to a denser vibration, a heavier, a not so good universe. So if that's the case with me, I don't want to think I died and ended up, I mean, I wouldn't call it hell. Babies are born every day, people still fall in love. That couldn't happen in a hell, right? I know this is some people's theory. I'm not going to discount anybody's theory. Seriously, I'm not. But I have noticed that while, yes, some are awakening, some are absolutely sleeping, many are falling under a great deception. And what I mean by that is they're either not spiritually grounded to begin with. So when this happened, they're spiritually curious, so they're believing a whole lot of lies that are out there, spiritual lies, and that is everywhere. If you know me at all, you know that I talk about that a lot, that we need to use discernment. And the other thing is many people talk about how people are different. They don't seem the same. They seem maybe cold, almost, I don't know, almost like fillers. I know it sounds like crazy talk, but almost like they have no feeling, like somebody that you might have known and you hung out with it, but you haven't seen them in a while, and now all of a sudden they seem so much different. It's happened to me several times, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm different, maybe they're different, maybe both. I don't know. And if you're not experiencing this, you're probably thinking, wow, what a whack job. But if you are experiencing this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So not only are we having physical symptoms, we're having health problems, we're having financial problems, we're having um, problems with other people, we're having different memory glitches, different things are different. I mean, and then the anger. So that's the other thing, the why I'm saying the great deception. People are falling for things that are absolutely not true. They sound good, they're nice to the ears, it would be nice if that were the way things are, but it's an absolute deception spiritually. And then there's the other people who are walking around so angry, so vicious, nasty groups all around the world, not just in the US, all over the place, just being absolutely nasty, out of control. There's always been nasty people, always. I'm not going to say there hasn't, but something has been shifting over and over and over. And I was just got a comment from an empath on another video that said each time before it happens, she gets ravenous, she gets very hungry, and then after the shift happens, she can't eat, she's having trouble sleeping. I am also experiencing this. I'm experiencing the ringing in the ears, but not like some people. Some people are getting it constantly. I get it out of the blue, and it's not like, I used to say, oh, somebody's talking about me. It's deeper than that, and it's like, oh no, something's happening. So I yes, do I feel like we are ascending? Yes. Do I feel like we're moving forward? Yes. Do I also feel like there is we're in the age of the great deception? I think we might be. Anyway, something happened along this shift. It's different than any other that I've experienced in my lifetime. And it's almost as if some kind of portal was opened, or for some reason, if more negative energy was allowed in, I still believe that God is with us. I still believe we have the positive. I still believe that God will answer prayers. And I think what's going to happen is the higher we ascend, we have to be careful what we say and think and what we want. And we got to make sure we really want it, because it's almost as if it's happening quickly, quickly, quickly. Now, most of us know how to manifest anyway, but this isn't even like conscious manifesting. It kind of like when you worry and you bring about things to yourself, but on a hyper speed. It's like on steroids, right? It's like the other day I was in my car. My car's been having a lot of problems, and I believe it's the water pump. But anyway, I'm not a mechanic. I don't know. So if anybody knows a mechanic, please let me know. Um, so anyway, I was having a heck of a time. It took me, I had a doctor's appointment that I needed to go to because my health is just going horrible. This is horrible. Everything, and I'm not talking about a cold here. This is horrible. I've experienced a recent death. Um, my health is bad. Finances are getting blocked at every turn. So anyway, I'm in my car, and it took me, I think, 2.5 hours to take like a 25-minute drive to get to the doctor's. I had radiator coolant just gushing out. I couldn't even go like a half a mile, a quarter mile without pulling over. So I had to make this trek back. I had called a friend. We spent some time. She couldn't give me a ride back home because she didn't have the gas. And so I finally said, okay, I'm just going to do it. I filled it up with radiator fluid. I did get another cap because the cap broke on me. And keep in mind, now I'm doing this on a wing and a prayer because I am down to pennies. My gas light's on. I mean, I'm just like, I have nothing, no way to get it, nothing. So, um, I pulled over one last time. I sat there. I just prayed. I just got still, just prayed. Then I started to go again, and the car started to overheat. And I cast out Satan and all his evildoers in the name of Jesus Christ. And I said, Lord, I know you're still here. I know this is crazy, but I cast him out. Please surround me with angels. And then I kept driving. Now it's at the hot mark, and I'm thinking, oh, what am I gonna do? But I just continued to pray. And then so I cast him out, and then I said, all right, Jesus, please bring this lever, this lever down, bring it down. Don't let the car overheat, and let me make it home. Do you know, from that moment on, it started going down for the next like 3 miles. It was in between center and hot, and then it went down to center, a little bit under center. It stayed that way all the way home. So I made it home. Then there's a couple other prayers that are really personal that I prayed, and instantaneously they happened. Now, they didn't happen the way that I had hoped they'd happen, but they happened. So I think it's all going on at the same time. Well, now I am under attack big time. I mean, like I said, my health, my family, my son that is in another state, um, death, loss, grief, people canceling on me. So no income coming in. Either I get sick, my car broke down, so I can't make it to big events. So I'm losing money that way. My kids can't make it to work. My sons that are here with me. My health is going down the tubes because I can't afford all my medicine. I can't afford the procedures I need. I'm being attacked in my home. I need to move. And finances, like I said, are being blocked. I mean, it's everywhere. My whole thing, my banking thing got messed up. So I'm getting hit from every angle. And finally, I was like, I was driving home. I was like, enough is enough. I had a migraine. Anyway, so it just happened. And like I said, then another prayer happened. So, but believe it or not, that's not even what I want to talk about. I want to talk about spirit connection. So my whole point was, I think some kind of portal was opened, and even more evil was let in than before. We've always had evil on this earth from, um, the day that, you know, um, that Adam and Eve went against God and the tree of good and evil, the knowledge of good and evil. So yes, evil is here. It's always been here. But I'm not the only one who believes that in recent months, especially right around January, before that, but especially then, right around the U.S. presidential inauguration. Sorry about my kitty. It seemed to get even worse and more evil was released. Now, I am not saying it's because of the inauguration. Please don't take me wrong. I don't want to be political either side, okay? I'm just talking about when I noticed it even get stronger. Um, I would say within a couple days of that. So, and I believe that more evil entered. And some people, like I said, don't notice it at all. They're going about their lives and everything's just the same as it was. Other people are dealing with extreme, sorry about my cat, extreme hardship. Um, this is Simmy. Simsimony, Simsimony, Simsimony. I love her. She's always had these eye problems since she was a kitten. Um, I do have drops for her, by the way. So, anyway, um, but I've noticed that people with maybe they've had spirit contact in their house already. It's gotten in a negative way. People that are gifted and can connect with spirit, or people that are empaths or psychics or whatever, gifted healers, whatever, they seem to be experiencing more fatigue, more contact with spirits. So I just wanted to talk about a few different ways. Now, this goes for even prior to the shift, ways to know that spirit is trying to contact you. There are several ways. I mean, and everybody's different. And you know what? Spirit, just like people, they don't have to follow any kind of plan. It's not like every spirit is going to do the same thing. But these are just some tips. And you know, if you're in this realm, if you're in this field, you probably know this already anyway. But I do want to tell you that a lot of people are having dealings with shadow people. And what shadow people are is it's not your loved ones. It's not your grandmother, it's not your guardian angel. A shadow person is usually a negative entity. Um, I used to have a shadow person that kind of followed me around every time something bad was going to happen. So I knew when I saw what I call the shadow man, or the dark man, or I used to call him, I thought he was the spirit of alcoholism because at the time, um, I was with just a very severe alcoholic. He's now since crossed over. But before something would happen, I mean, he would go months and months and months in sobriety and then go on benders. And before something would happen, I would see this shadow man. Usually, any kind of spirit. So, if it's a shadow person, if you see like a shadow walk through your house, usually you'll see them out of your peripheral vision, good or bad, whatever they are, whatever kind of spirit it is, you'll usually see it out of your peripheral vision. Sometimes, when angels come, I think we almost catch them off guard. I have talked to people who have actually seen angels head on, but I don't necessarily think we're supposed to. It seems like it's almost like a glitch, you know. But we see spirit through the corner of our eyes, through peripheral vision. Um, and then when you look head on, you don't see anything. Um, but again, if it's a shadow person, you may or may not see them head on, and it's usually not a good thing. But any kind of spirit we can see out of our peripheral vision. That's one. Number two, sometimes you see them not with the naked eye, but maybe through a camera lens, even through my phone. Sometimes you're filming it, you don't see it when you're filming it, but on the film, orbs, that kind of thing. Or they show up in pictures. I have a client whose son had crossed over, and there's no doubt it's clear. His picture's right there. His face shows up in a picture, so they can show up on film, or even digital. Number three, smell. Smell is our strongest sense. So a lot of people talk about a heavy cigarette smell or a heavy alcohol smell or maybe marijuana. If the person was active in those things when they were here. So maybe you don't smoke a cigarette at all and you know that there's nobody smoking in your house, and you walk into a room and you're overwhelmed with, just for a moment, cigarette smoke. Um, sometimes sometimes like a fireman, you might smell actual smoke. Sorry, I had to stop. I had to pause and then go take care of my grandson and come back. So, like I was saying, if it's a fireman, you might smell smoke like from a house fire, or um, Sometimes if somebody was like, you know how people just have their certain smell, you might smell that. You might smell their perfume or aftershave or whatever the case may be, but our sense of smell is really strong. Another way is you might feel a physical presence. Um, you might feel like when I feel like I'm touched by spirit, I feel almost like goosebumps, it's like not like if somebody in the physical touches you, although sometimes it can be like that, but normally it's like if somebody uh, you're touched by an angel, almost, I like to say, it's like you get goosebumps or you get like a sudden temperature change. Now, if there's negative, the temperature change, a lot of times people say it's cold because they use our energy. Another thing is you can feel like an overwhelming sense of doom or panic. That's not your loved one, okay? So sense of smell, you could see them out of the corner of your eye. Touch, and um, there are other ways too. You could hear them, and sometimes in rare instances, um, something will move or get misplaced or something. That takes an awful lot of energy. Just pay attention. Sometimes it's that song on the radio, it's the thought in your head. All of a sudden they're there, that thought, and I wasn't thinking about that. Those are all signs from spirit. So just pay attention. Now, another thing that I'm going to really insist upon is that you discern the spirits. And what that means is discern the spirits. Don't just take somebody's word for it. So say you have another way they come to us, number 6 would be in dreams. But if somebody comes to you in a dream, it's not just a dream about them. Normally, it's one of those dreams that you wake up and you're like, whoa. Write it down because you might feel like I'll never forget this, but you just might forget it. So write it down. Normally, they do not speak to you. If they do, it's minimal. Okay. And a lot of times, if they do, it's not speaking physically, it's more like telepathically or something. There's a difference between dreaming about our loved one and having a visit from our loved one or from spirit. I have had dreams where I'm talking to a higher being. I don't know if it's an angel. I know each time I know it wasn't God. One of my sons had a dream with Satan himself. And he knew it was Satan. And ultimately, I believe that Satan did claim to be Satan. Ask who they are, ask who Jesus is, and ask about God. See what their answers are. If their answers don't match up to truth, it's not a good spirit. Okay? Don't ask them, what did I do in 5th grade? Ask about God, about Jesus. Um, there are many stories out there how a spirit will switch if you call them out. So be very, very careful. All right, guys, it's like 4:30 in the morning. I'll see you in the next video. Listen, really be careful discerning spirits, okay? And hang in there for this shift. I know it's a roller coaster ride. Hang in there. You're not alone. All right, take care.